Today on the Cardinal Sports Network, we bring you varsity swimming, both boys and girls, as Lawrence will be taking on Hopewell Valley in a virtual meet. For those of you who haven't seen a virtual meet yet, that means Lawrence will be swimming in the Lawrence pool while Hopewell Valley will be swimming in their pool. So while you will only see the Lawrence swimmers on your screen during this program, Hopewell Valley is competing, and I will give you the results at the end of each event.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's swim meet. The first event is the 200 Medley relay. Swimming in lane 1, DeMarco, Lewis, Youngbound, and K-Line. In lane 2, Little, Sharma, Doherty, and Alessi. In lane 3, Jenny, Kolinskaya, Van Heist, and Murphy.
And we're ready for the start of the girls 200 medley relay. There's the starting buzzer. Over in lane 3, we've got Anya Shetty, and she's going quite a distance underwater. Lane 2, we've got Sonia Little, and I'm not sure who's in lane 1. That lane is not even being scored for this particular event. There at the turn is Anya Shetty, and she's continuing to make ground over the other two. Now we see Sonia Little there giving chase. And there's the changeover, lane 3, Shalia Kolomatskasha into the water. And over in lane 2, there we see Richa Sharma. Now Kolomatskaya with the turn, heading for the changeover. Kolomatskaya getting close to the changeover, and Paige Van Heist will be going in to take her place. There she goes. Meanwhile, in lane 4, we should see Petra Doherty coming into the water. Van Heist heading for the turnaround. There she goes. And now there's the turn for Doherty. Now we got Van Heist heading for the final changeover. And into the pool will come Riley Burns in lane 3. Then in lane 2, we've got Jamie Slutsky into the pool. Burns coming up to her turnaround. And now in lane 2, we've got Slutsky with her turn. But it looks like it's going to be Burns all the way in this pool. In the Hopewell pool, D'Alessandro takes the win with a time of 2:03.09. A. Wirtz will take second with a time of 2:18.93. Lawrence Burns will take 2:21.54 for third place, and Slutsky will finish with a time of 2:24.76 for fourth place.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The next event is the boys 200 medley relay. Swimming in lane 4, Lilly, DeMott, Morris, and Smith. In lane 5, Ladinsky, Thompson, and Omar Ibrahim.
That will take us to the boys 200 medley relay. Just two teams in the water for this event. It's a Lawrence pool, and there they go. Early on, looks like Ben Lilly in lane 4 taking the lead over Aaron Ledzinski. Lilly with his turn, and close behind Ledzinski with his turn as they will head back to the changeover blocks. Standing by in lane 4, we see Matt DeMont entering the water. And over in lane 5, River Lisinski will be coming in and take his turn. Now DeMont making good headway, heading for his turn. There's the turn, and he'll head the other direction. Meanwhile, Lisinski giving chase. But DeMont definitely out with a very healthy lead at this point. Next into the water will be Dylan Morris, and there he goes. Over in lane 5, Hasma Ibrahim will be coming into the water. Now we see Morris stretching it out as he heads to the turn and coming back the other direction. There goes Ibrahim giving chase. But Morris heading for the final changeover, where he will hand it over to Matt Smith to swim the final leg. There's Smith entering the water. And we've got Hasma Ibrahim heading for the changeover, where he'll hand it off to Omar Ibrahim. Now there's the turn by Smith as he's heading back to the finish, making good time. There we see Omar Ibrahim heading for his turn. And Matt Smith will tag in for the win with a time of 1:51.84. Over in the Hopewell pool, Helmrich will tag in with 1:55.53 to take second. Now we see Omar Ibrahim. Looks like he's going to finish in third. And he does. He takes a 2:10.22, just ahead of Yonamik over in the Hopewell pool with a time of 2:10.74. So a very close match there. That gives the Lawrence boys the early lead, 10-4 over Hopewell Valley.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The next event is the 200 freestyle. Swimming in lane 1, Simpson. In lane 2, Cherry. In lane 3, Dalton. In lane 4, Wang. In lane 5, Gutierrez. In lane 6, Gene.
The 200 free will be a combined boys and girls event. They'll be scored separately, but swimming at the same time here in the Lawrence pool and doing the same over in the Hopewell pool. Swimmers are getting ready to start. And into the water they go. Very tight field here. Looks like Dalton and Wang going at it in lanes 3 and 4. And they're at the turn, Dalton and Wang side by side for the leads. Looks like Dalton pulling out a little bit ahead of Wang at this point. There's the turn. Wang catches up a little bit on that turn. The two of them still very close together. Got about a half a length lead at the moment for Dalton. There goes Dalton with the turn, followed closely by Wang. Wang makes up some more ground on the turn. And he's back to about a half a length lead, but don't know if he's going to be able to hold that. Dalton seems to be a little quicker down the straights. Now there's the turns. And they're going to come up about side by side, dead even. So Dalton makes up a little bit of time down the straights, and Wang is able to make it back up in the turn. At least that's been the case so far. Now there's the turn. And they look about dead even again. Now there goes Dalton pulling out about a half a length lead. maybe even a full-length lead by the time she gets to the wall. There's her turn. There's Wang with his turn. He was able to make up some of that, but he wasn't dead even with her that time, as Dalton starts to pull away with this one. Keep in mind, they're not competing against each other. They just happen to be in the pool at the same time. There goes Dalton with her turn. Wang makes his turn and gives chase. Here comes Dalton in for the finish. And she'll tag in with a time of 1:59.40. Ethan Wang will finish up with a time of 2:03.88. We've got swimmers all across the pool still finishing up, and swimmers over in Hopewell. We'll wait for everyone to finish up, and then I'll give you the final rundown. In near lane, we see Simpson here heading for the finish, and over there in the far lane, we see Jean doing the same. They'll finish up, and the final results for the girls. The winner was Emerson Dalton with a time of 1:59.40. Over in Hopewell, Sherman took second. Back in Lawrence, Cherry finished up with a time of 2:10.77 to take third. In Hopewell, Bass took a time of 2:10.90. And Hopewell also had A. Wirtz with a time of 2:20.69. Megan Simpson rounded out the field for Lawrence with a time of 2:24.77. On the boys' side, the winner was in Hopewell, Helmrich, with a time of 2:00.40. Then in second, Wang with a time of 2:03.88. Third, a time of 2:26.32. Fourth, Yademic with a time of 2:30.37. Fifth was Desai with 2:31.10. And in sixth, Aiden Gutierrez rounded out the field with a time of 2:34.56.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
200 IM, swimming in lane 2, Lewis, in lane 3, Matt, in lane 4, Verga, in lane 5, Forrest, in lane 6, Lindinsky.
This is the 200 IM. Both the boys and the girls will be swimming in the pool at the same time, although being scored separately. Over in Hopewell, representing the girls, they've got Karthik Vakstan and Sawicki and Hayward getting ready for the start. Into the water they go. Now the boys over in Hopewell, you've got Helmrich, Yademic, and Dasari swimming. But here in the Lawrence pool, let's see what we've got going on right here. It looks like lane 4 would be Verga, well out in front of everyone else. Second looks like Meth over there in Morris in lane 5. For the girls, lane 3, Meth is way out ahead of everyone. And that's stayed pretty much the same. At the turn, both, right off the bat, you see out front, there's Verga making his turn already. But that looks like Morris and Meth giving chase, and very much side by side for this event. Not being scored against each other, but swimming competitive times against each other. Now here comes the breaststroke. We've got Verga halfway across the pool already, and he's headed for his turnaround. There's the turn for Verga. And yes, Meth is definitely starting to eke out a little bit of an edge over Morris. Verga coming back to the starting blocks. And there's the turn, and he'll finish off with a crawl. Verga setting a torrid pace here. Making really good time. Putting a lap on Lewis. And Verga headed for the finish. But over in the Hopewell pool, Helmrich has already finished with a time of 2:00:40. Verga tagged in with 2:06:71. And we see Dylan Morris about to tag in. There, he'll tag in for a time of 2:23:97. Over in the Hopewell pool, Yademic is coming in for a time of 2:30:27. He was followed closely by Desari with a time of 2:31:10. And Lisinski here in the Lawrence pool clocked in at 6 with 2:40:50. On the girls' side, Elizabeth Meth took the win in 2:17:42. Over in Hopewell, Katharski was second with 2:27:21. Hopewell Sawicki got 2:35:04. Hopewell's Hayward got fourth with 2:53:65. And back here in Lawrence, Ella Lewis got fifth with a time of 2:54:01.
The finals 53, swimming in lane 1, Slutsky. In lane 2, Van Heist. In lane 3, Shetty. In lane 4, Doherty. In lane 5, Galois. In lane 6, Stepanev.
As you just heard, this is the 50 free coming up, but only 3 of those swimmers they announced will be counting towards the Lawrence score. We've got Slutsky in lane 1, Van Heist in lane 2, and Shetty in lane 3. Over in the Hopewell pool, they'll be going up against D'Alessandro, L. Wirtz, and Kurtz.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The girls are ready for the start. And into the water they go. Looks like lanes 3 and 4 very close together for the lead. Perhaps a slight edge to lane 3. That would be Shetty. And at the turn, Shetty with an edge. As we said, only the first 3 lanes are going to count towards this event. So that would put lane 2 with Van Heist in second and lane 1 Shetsky in third in this pool. However, over in Hopewell, D'Alessandro took the win with a time of 26:96. L. Wirtz with a time of 28:42 took second. Here in Lawrence, Shetty got third with a 28:86. Van Heist took fourth with 30:64. And Slutsky took the fifth and final points-paying position with a time of 32:73.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The next event is the boys 53, swimming in lane 4, DeMott. In lane 5, Smith. In lane 6, Lazinski.
Over in Hopewell, we'll be swimming Sawicki, Montanari, and Wilson. Boys 50 free, getting ready for the start. And into the water they go. We got an extra swimmer in lane 3. The 3 further lanes are the ones that count. And we see lane 4, DeMott, and lane 5, Smith, very close to, actually all 3 of them hit the turn about the same time. Lisinski losing a little bit of time on the turn over there in lane 6, but it's neck and neck between lane 4 and 5 with DeMott and Smith. And they will tag in, and at the finish, Hopewell won with Sawicki taking a time of 24:20. Matt Smith here in Lawrence got second with 24:37. Matt DeMott took third with 24:66. In Hopewell, Montanari took fourth with 25:69. And back in Lawrence, Lisinski took fifth with 26:59.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The next event is the 100 fly, swimming in lane 2, Yuckmouth. In lane 3, Sullivan. In lane 4, Wang. In lane 5, Morris. In lane 6, Ibrahim.
The 100 fly or butterfly will be a combined event with the boys and the girls swimming in the pool at the same time. Here in Lawrence, as you've heard, we've got swimming for the girls, Yuckmouth in lane 2, Sullivan in lane 3. Then for the boys, Wang, Morris, and Ibrahim. Into the water they go. Now over in the Hopewell Valley pool, swimming for Hopewell Valley will be on the girls' side, Christie and Hayward and Marcus. And on the boys' side, only two swimmers, Montanari and Lavav. Back in the Lawrence pool, looks like lane 5, Morris with a slight edge. They'll make the turn, followed closely by Wang in 4 and Sullivan in 3, although Sullivan is not swimming against them. In fact, Wang and Sullivan having a real race of it. It looks like Sullivan may be taking the lead there on Wang. Once again, not swimming against each other, but all doing their personal best. And coming into the finish there will be Dylan Morris of Lawrence taking the win with a time of 1:02.60. Ethan Wang took second place in this event with a time of 1:06.99. Over in the Hopewell Valley pool, Montanari took third with 1:10.96, and Lavav took fourth with 1:19.49. Meanwhile, on the girls' side, Katie Sullivan from Lawrence took the win with a time of 1:04.30. Over in the Hopewell Valley pool, Christie took second with 1:15.72. Hayward took third in Hopewell with a time of 1:19.76, and Yuckmouth back in Lawrence got 1:25.47 for fourth. Over in Hopewell Valley, Marcus took the fifth position with a time of 1:30.45.
The next event is the girls 100 free, swimming in lane 1, Slutsky. In lane 2, Murphy. In lane 3, Cherry. In lane 4, A-Line. In lane 5, Komenskaya. In lane 6, Talawa.
Over in the Hopewell pool, swimming will be Karthikvakstan, D'Alessandro, and Hartog. At this point, Lawrence is trailing on the girls' side 32-46, while the boys are leading 42-35.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
And we're ready for the start of the girls 100 free. There go the girls into the water. Interesting to see how some of them go long distances underwater. Others want to get up on the surface and start stroking right away. Lanes 2 and 3, we've got Murphy and Cherry going at it for the lead. Right now it looks like Cherry has a bit more of a lead over Murphy, and the rest of the field chasing second. At the turn is definitely Cherry out front by about a length. Murphy giving chase. Only 3 of these swimmers are going to count for the Lawrence score: Cherry, Murphy, and Slutsky. Now Cherry on her final leg heading back for the finish. She's opened it up by about 3 lengths over Murphy. And at the finish, it will be Alex Cherry taking the win with a time of 59.94. Over in the Hopewell pool, Karthik will take second with 101.70, followed by Delisandro with 102.57. Alex Murphy here in Lawrence took fourth with 105.86. Hopewell's Hartog took fifth with 106.28. And Jamie Slutsky rounded out the field with a time of 110.84. The girls still trail by 14 points.
The result of the 100 girls 100 free. In first place with a winning time of 106.59, Alexander Cherry. The next event is the boys 100 free. Swimming in lane 4, Smith. In lane 5, Jean. In lane 6, Gutierrez.
Swimming in the Hopewell pool will be Genovese, Yadamek, and Datilio. The Lawrence boys come into this race leading by a score of 42-35.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Boys 100 free. Into the water they go. And it looks like lanes 4 and 6 have the hot hand right now. And at the turn, lane 4, Smith has got the lead. Gutierrez in second and Jean in third. In the Lawrence pool, that is. Overall, that might be a little different. We'll know in just a moment. Now Smith with the turn as he's pulling away with this one. Still got Gutierrez giving chase over there for second in the far lane, and Jean in the middle, hanging on for third. Jean keeping good pace there with Gutierrez. Smith going all the way. In fact, it looks as if Smith may take the overall win in this one. And Smith will tag in with a time of 55.22 to claim first place. Over in Hopewell, Genovese will claim second with 59.69. In Lawrence, Aiden Gutierrez will get 102.09 for third. Hopewell, Yadamek will get 102.76 for fourth. And taking the fifth and final points playing position, Lionel Jean with a time of 104.12.
The next event is the 400 free, swimming in lane 1, Little, in lane 2, Burns, in lane 3, Dalton, in lane 4, Lilly, in lane 5, Ladinsky, lane 6 is open.
This will be another combined event with the boys and the girls swimming in the pool at the same time but being scored separately. On the girls' side, over in Hopewell, they've got Sherman, Wirtz, and Christie. On the boys' side, the Hopewell swimmers will be Helmrich, Wilson, and Corvelin. Boys lead with a score of 52-41, while the girls are trailing with a score of 47-63. 500 free. This is a long, grueling event for these swimmers. Into the water they go. And the swimmers will have to pace themselves a little bit as compared to something like the 50 free that we saw earlier. And there they go for the first turn. Your early leader in lane 3 is going to be Dalton, followed by Burns in lane 2, and I'm sorry, that's Lilly in lane 4, who's swimming second on your screen at the moment. Ladinsky over there in lane 5, swimming in third. As we said, this is a very long, grueling event, and pace is going to be very important. Someone can get out there too fast and too hard early on and burn themselves out, while someone who's pacing themselves to go the distance may prevail in the long run. A little bit of tortoise and hare. However, these swimmers are all very experienced, and they know their capabilities and their pace. chances are they're all going to be working things perfectly to go the distance. So at the turn there, it's Dalton still out in front. Lily leading for the boys. And Ladinsky giving chase over there in lane 5. Dalton and Lily have separated themselves from the rest of the field by quite a margin. And coming up to the 7th turn. There goes Dalton with her turn. And Lily still close behind, maybe 3 swimmer lengths back now. Dalton's pace very strong in this event and showing no signs of slowing down. In fact, you can see she's going to be coming up to put a lap on Burns in a moment. There she goes by Burns. And while she's at it, I think she's going to lap Little as well. So Dalton definitely the class of the girls team at this point. She's opened up about almost a half a pool length over Lily, who is leading the boys team right now in this event. Lily is coming up close that he'll be putting a lap on Ladinsky before long. In fact, there he goes past him right now. So our 2 leaders, Dalton for the girls and Lily for the boys, have both put themselves on a lap ahead of everyone else. Dalton with the turn. And there goes Lily with his turn. There's the bell signaling the final lap for Dalton. Lily with his final lap. Dalton's still moving at a very good clip. There's the red marker signifying the last turn. At this point, the swimmers are going to give everything they've got for the best finish they can get. Dalton headed for the line. And Emerson Dalton will win the girls' portion of the event with a time of 5:13.53. Ben Lilly won the boys' portion of the event with a time of 5:21.55. Over in Hopewell, Sherman has finished in the girls' side for a 5:25.16. And in the boys' side, Hopewell's Helmrich has taken second with a time of 5:28.29. Those seem to be the only swimmers that are going to finish in the 5-minute mark. See the rest of the swimmers turning and heading back down towards the finish. Over in Hopewell, Wirtz finished with a time of 6:15.40. And Christie with a time of 6:26.23. Over in Lawrence, on the boys' side, Aaron Ladinsky got a time of 6:38.90. And in Lawrence, Sonia Little finished with a time of 6:41.68. The girls will drop to a 16-point deficit with that finish, with a time score of 47-63, while the boys are actually leading by a score of 61-48.
The next event is the girls 200 free relay. Swimming in lane 1, Lewis, Kingline, Little, and Burns. In lane 2, Simpson, Yuckmouth, Van Heist, and Murphy. In lane 3, Sullivan, Meth, Cherry, and Dalton. In lane 4, Stephanie, DeMarco, Gala, and Sharma.
Over in the Hopewell pool, their first team will be El Wirtz, Bass, Sawicki, and Kazakhstan. Their second team will be Bartnikowski, Petrosian, Marcus, and Kurtz.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
200 free relay, ready for the start. And into the water they go. We're actually going to be watching lanes 2 and 3 for this event. And right now it's Sullivan and Simpson dead even at the turn. And coming out of the water, slight edge to Sullivan in lane 3, but not much. It's very close still between those two. At the changeover, first into the water is Meth, followed closely by Yuckmouth. And we're now seeing quite a disparity between the two lanes, so some time gained there at the changeover. Here at the turn, it's Meth by maybe three or four swimmer lengths there over Yuckmouth. Meth heading to the changeover. And into the water goes Cherry. She'll be followed shortly by Van Heist over here in lane 2. But lane 3 really pulling ahead now with this one, as Cherry is well out there. There goes Van Heist giving chase. Cherry on her return leg, where she will be tagging in and sending Emerson Dalton into the water. There goes Dalton now. Meanwhile, Van Heist is going back to tag in Alex Murphy. Dalton already down at the turn, and she'll head back the other direction. Here comes Murphy on her final leg. Dalton with a very strong looking finish. And at the finish, Dalton's team will take first place with a time of 1:48.32. The team in Hopewell with Kazakhstan finished up with a time of 1:54.27. Murphy brought that team home in third place with a time of 2:00.74. And the final team over in Hopewell, final leg swum by Kurtz, got a time of 2:16.38. Lawrence girls have trimmed the deficit a little bit down to 10 points with a score of 57-67.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The next event is the boys 200 free relay. Swimming in lane 4, Berga, Morris, Wang, and Damat. In lane 5, Ibrahim, G, Lozinski, and Gutierrez.
Hopewell will be fielding two teams for this event. First team with Genovese, Seibold, Yademic, and Montanari. Their second team with Detilio, Lavav, Wilson, and Huang. Boys 200 free relay. Into the water they go. And Cole Verga out to an early lead in this one. as he's stretched out about 2 lengths on Abraham just on the first leg of this one. Verga returning to the blocks for the changeover, where he will hand off to Dylan Morris. Morris into the water. Lionel Jean standing by to enter in lane 5. Into the water he goes. He's got a lot of ground to try and make up. Morris with the turn. And we see Jean heading down towards his turn. There he goes with the turn. And Morris will be handing off the swimming duties to Ethan Wang. And there goes Wang into the water. Jean swimming hard, trying to make up in time. He'll be handing off to River Lisinski. Lisinski into the water. There goes Wang with the turn. Lisinski doing what he can to try and make up the deficit. Wang headed for the changeover. And into the water for the final swim goes Matt DeMott. Now Lisinski heading for his exchange. And into the water will go Aiden Gutierrez. DeMott already at his turn, as he'll be returning for the finish. And at the finish, the team of Verga, Morris, Wang, and DeMott will take the win with a time of 1:40.53. Over in Hopewell, the team with the final leg by Montanari took 1:49.70 for second. Their team with Wang got third with a time of 2:15.86. And Lawrence will take fourth with Gutierrez.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The next event is the 100 backstroke. Swimming in lane 1, Simpson. In lane 2, Chevy. In lane 3, Sullivan. In lane 4, Verga. In lane 5, Lilly. In lane 6, Sis.
This will be another event where the boys and girls will swim together, but be scored separately. For the boys in Hopewell, we've got Sawicki, Sverdlov, and Corvaline. And for the girls, Hopewell has L. Wirtz, Hartog, and Bartonkowski. And they're ready to start the 100 backstroke. There go the swimmers. And last one to surface takes the lead in lane 4. That's Cole Verga. Now Verga with the turn. He's being closely pursued by Lilly in lane 5. Sullivan leading with the girls in lane 3. But at the turn, it's going to be Verga by a length over Sullivan, and over Lilly and then Sullivan. Verga and Lilly cruising together pretty well. There's the turn for Verga, and there goes Lilly with his turn. They'll be heading back towards the finish line. And at the finish, Cole Verga will win with a time of 1:00.63. Ben Lilly would take second with a time of 1:03.21. Over in the Hopewell pool, Sawicki finished third with a time of 1:03.76. Sverdlov finished fourth with a time of 1:10.66. And here in Lawrence, Fletcher Sisk is going to claim the fifth and final points playing spot with a time of 1:26.54. On the girls' side, Katie Sullivan took the win with a time of 1:10.29. In Hopewell, Elle Wirtz finished second with a time of 1:13.51. Anya Shetty took third for Lawrence with a time of 1:16.60. And tied for fourth, we've got Megan Simpson with 1:19.37 and Hartog and Hopewell with the exact same time. Not something you see very often. Score so far, your boys team has stretched out their lead a little further to 80-59 over Hopewell Valley. Our Lawrence girls team has actually closed the gap a little bit. They are down now to a 5-point deficit, 67.5 points for Lawrence to the 72.5 points that Hopewell Valley has.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
The next event is the girls 100-meter breaststroke, swimming in lane 1, Komenskaya, in lane 2, Doherty, in lane 3, Matt, in lane 4, Lewis, in lane 5, Sharma, lane 6 is open.
Over in Hopewell Valley, Sawicki, Bass, and Hayward will be swimming. 100 breaststroke. Into the water the girls go. And once again, the last swimmer to surface is the leader, and lane 3 is Meth. In fact, Meth out to quite a lead as she makes her first turn. Looks like second was Doherty in lane 2. And the other three very close together. Now Meth with her turn. Well out ahead of everyone else. There comes Doherty with her turn. But well out front, Meth by about half a pool length as she approaches her final turn. There's the turn. And now Meth halfway back to the finish. No one in sight. And at the finish, it's going to be Eliza Meth winning with a time of 1:13.10. Over in Hopewell, Sawicki will tag in with a time of 1:16.67 to claim second. And Bass will tag in with a time of 1:23.04 to claim third. Now over in lane 4, we see Petra Doherty coming in to claim the fourth spot. Just barely ahead of Kolomatskaya, who claimed fifth for Lawrence. Score at the end of this event. Lawrence has closed the gap a little more. It's now only a 3-point gap, with Lawrence trailing 76.5 to 79.5 behind Hopewell Valley.
The next event is the boys 100-meter breaststroke. Swimming in lane 4, Demott, in lane 5, Lazinski, in lane 6, Ibrahim.
Swimmers for Hopewell in this event will be Seibold, Genovese, and Desari.
You're watching the Cardinal Sports Network here on LTPS TV.
Boys 100 breaststroke. Into the water they go. And early leader in lane 3, we have Matt DeMott. But Lasinski in lane 5 actually caught him going to the wall, and now it's Lasinski out ahead. But boy, good underwater glide there by DeMott in lane 4. And DeMott and Lasinski are really going at it side by side. We'll see what happens at this next turn. It was Lasinski tagging the wall first at the turn. They'll come up together. Now it looks like DeMott may be getting a little bit of an edge, but too close to call. They touch the wall dead even. And the glide underwater is going to give DeMott the lead, but maybe half a length as they head for the finish line. Now DeMott really pouring it on, trying to pull away. Lisinski staying with him. And at the finish, it's going to be Matt DeMott winning with a time of 1:12.86. In second place, River Lisinski with a time of 1:13.75. Over in Hopewell, Seibold finished with 1:13.99, followed by Genovese at 1:16.52, Desai at 1:18.24, and rounding out the field back in Lawrence, Asma Ibrahim with 1:25.36. That will give the Lawrence boys a huge lead as they now lead 90-65 over Hopewell Valley.
The next event is the girls 400 relay, swimming in lane 3, Cherry, Sullivan, Ness, and Dalton. In lane 2, Murphy, Yuckmouth, Simpson, and Shetty. In lane 1, Burns, DeMarco, Sharma, and Cadeline.
Swimming in the Hopewell Valley pool, first team will be Sherman, D'Alessandro, Karthik Svenson, and Bass. And their second team will be A. Wirtz, Hayward, Hartog, and Christie. Their third team will be Petrosian, Marcus, Bartonkowski, and Kurtz. The Lawrence girls team is still trailing in the scoring by 3 points. They've got 76.5 points to Hopewell Valley's 79.5 points. They're within striking range of either tying or taking the win in this event, but they're going to have to swim hard to do it. This Hopewell Valley girls team has been very tough. Girls are on the starting block. And there they go into the water. Early on, Cherry in 3 and Murphy in 2, very close together. Hard to tell which one of them is going to be out front. And there at the turn, it is Cherry turning first and gaining a little bit of time on the turn. Murphy still staying with her pretty well. In fact, all three swimmers doing very well at this point. Now Cherry with her next turn, followed by Murphy. And Cherry has opened it up to about a 2-length lead over Murphy. Cherry coming to her final turn. And there goes Murphy with her final turn. But it'll be Cherry well out ahead by the time they reach the changeover. And Sullivan will enter the water in lane 3. Now Yuckmouth enters the water in lane 2. Sullivan with her first turn. Now Yuckmouth making the turn. Sullivan coming up to her next turn. And Yuckmouth getting ready to do the same. Sullivan with about a half a pool length lead already as she comes up to her final turn. There's the turn. Yuckmouth approaching the wall for her final turn. But Sullivan is racing to the changeover where Elizabeth Meth will enter the water. There goes Meth now. Meth with a strong kick. Yuckmouth tags in, and Simpson will enter the water in lane 2. There's his first turn for Meth. Simpson giving chase in lane 2. Now we have Meth coming up to her second turn. There's the turn. And Meth heading towards her final turn already. There's the turn. And they'll go crossing mid-pool as Simpson's heading the other way. Meth heading for the changeover. And into the water goes Emerson Dalton. Simpson heading down towards the changeover now. Dalton with her first turn. And into the water in lane 2 will go Shetty. Dalton with her second turn. And we see Shetty heading the other direction. Dalton with the final turn. Now she'll be getting close to actually lapping the team in lane 2. Not quite going to do it this round though. And Dalton will tag in to take the win for Lawrence with a time of 4:00:31. Over in Hopewell, the team finished up by Bass will have a time of 4:04:51 for second. We're watching now as Shetty swims her final leg. Shetty coming in for the finish. And Shetty's team will take third place with a time of 4:32:95. Over in Hopewell, team finalized by Christie will finish with a time of 4:37:66. And team final leg with Kurtz over in Hopewell took fifth with a time of 5:26:85. That's going to have significant impact on the points as Lawrence has gained 6 points over Hopewell Valley, and that will give them the lead and the win by 3 points. So Lawrence wins the girls' portion of this event with a score of 86.5 to 83.5.
Today's final event is the women's 400 free relay. Swimming in lane 4, Wang, Lily, Smith, and Berga. In lane 5, Ladinsky, Gutierrez, Jean, and Ibrahim. Lane 6 is open.
Over in the Hopewell Valley pool, their first team will have Sverdlov, Genovese, Sawicki, and Helmrich. Their second team will have Wilson, Corvaline, Detilio, and Desai. Lawrence leads 90-65 going into this final event. So this really won't determine the outcome of the event, but still everyone trying to swim their personal best. Into the water they go. And early lead by Ethan Wang in lane 4. And he's extending that lead a little bit over Aaron Ladinsky. Now at the turn, gap stayed about the same. Wang starting to stretch it out a little bit more. He's heading for his second turn. There's Wang with the turn. And now Ladinsky with his turn. Wang pulling out that lead a little bit further, as he's now up to about a 3 swimmer length lead. Approaching his final turn. There goes the turn. And Ladinsky with his final turn. Now Wang heading for the changeover, where Ben Lilly is anxiously awaiting his turn in the water. Into the water goes Lilly. Ladinsky will be handing off to Aiden Gutierrez in lane 5. Lilly now approaching his first turn. And we see Gutierrez heading towards his first turn. And Lilly's already approaching his second turn. Lilly with the turn. We see Gutierrez headed the other direction. Lilly now approaching his final turn. There's the turn. And Lilly will head back towards the changeover. There's Gutierrez heading for his final turn. And at the changeover, we'll see Matt Smith enter the water. Gutierrez heading towards the changeover, where he'll hand over to Lionel Jean. But in lane 4, Matt Smith has already made his first turn. There we see Jean entering the water. Smith will make his second turn. Smith heading towards his third and final turn. And there we see Jean heading the other direction after his turn. There's Smith with his final turn. He'll head back to the changeover. Now Smith coming in for the changeover, and into the water goes Cole Verga. Verga coming up to put a lap on Jean. Jean makes the turn first, however. Now here comes Verga. There, Jean goes down a lap, and Verga heading for his second turn. He'll make the turn. Jean will tag in, and Omar Ibrahim will enter the water in lane 5. Cole Verga headed for his final turn. There's the turn. And we see Ibrahim making his first turn. Now Verga headed towards the finish. And at the finish, Verga will tag in for the win with a time of 3:43.05. That's quite a lead that Verga managed to pull out. Well, Verga's team, I should say. Now over in Hopewell Valley, the team that anchored by Helmrich has just tagged in for second with a time of 4:09.41. Now we're watching to see which team will get third. Ibrahim coming in for the finish. And the team anchored by Ibrahim will finish third for Lawrence with a time of 4:26.57. The team over in Hopewell Valley anchored by Desai is going to finish up with a time of 4:39.51. So the Lawrence boys lead with a score, they win with a score of 100-69 against Hopewell Valley. And just a reminder, the Lawrence girls team pulled out the victory in the very last event, 86.5 to 83.5 for a 3-point victory. So the Cards victorious all the way around. thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in next time for more exciting Cardinal sports action on LTPS TV.